Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhaktya upahritam asnami prayatatmanah. This shloka is from the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9 and verse 26. And before I translate it to you, my name is Sangeeta Venkatesh and a very warm namaste. This channel is all about temples, travels, destinations, culture and spirituality. And if these topics interest you, please do subscribe to this channel. So back to the translation of the shloka that I just shared with you. This translates to, Krishna says that if anyone offers me a leaf, a flower, a fruit or water with devotion, I will accept it. So no doubt then he was thrilled when his childhood friend Sudama brought with him a bundle of puffed rice when he went to visit him. Now, this story is narrated by Shukadeva in the Bhagavatam, that is in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that when Sudama was in extreme penury, his wife begs him to seek Krishna's help, reminding him of their childhood friendship. Sudama agrees but does not want to go empty-handed. So Sudama's wife goes to the neighbor's place and gets a handful of flat rice and ties it up in a piece of cloth. Then Sudama makes his way towards Dwarka, where Krishna receives his friend with affection. He makes him sit on silken cushions and washes his feet personally. Then they go sit together and talk about the times that they spent together at the Gurukul, learning with their Guru Sandipani. Lord Krishna then asks him what Sudama had got for him. Sudama hesitatingly offers him this beaten rice, to him. Lord Krishna, is so happy to see it and expresses his delight, and then takes a handful and eats it with relish. And as he goes to eat another handful, he's stopped by his consort Rukmini, who whispers to him saying, by partaking a handful of rice, you have already made sure that Sudama will be wealthy, not only in this life, but also in the next. Wonderful, isn't it? Sudama on his part was elated to be in the company of his friend and left without asking for anything. On reaching his town, he was amazed to see the neighborhood transformed and a palace in place of his humble cottage. His wife and children were dressed in the best garments. Now Sudama realizes that this was a benevolence of his dear friend. So this also goes to show that you really don't have to ask for anything when you go to the altar of the divine. He already knows what it is. Just offer whatever you have, your prayers with devotion and with bhakti. So now this story, I was reminded of it on my trip to the Sudama Mandir in Porbandar. Now Porbandar, a coastal city of Gujarat, perhaps needs no introduction. This town, as we know, is the birthplace of the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi. And a little known fact is that this is also the birthplace of Sudama, or Kuchela, as he is known as in southern India. Now we also celebrate Kuchela Dinam, which is the first Wednesday of the Margazhi Mas or Dhanur Mas with Vasa, which we spoke about in the previous video. And if you have not seen it, do go back to it and have a look, or I'll link it also in the description box. Now, as I said, that the first Wednesday is also of Margazhi is celebrated as Kuchela Dinam. Now, the Sudama Mandir is perhaps the only temple in India dedicated to Sudama. The temple, which is in the center of the town, was built around 1902 to 1907 under the patronage of Sri Ram Devji Jetwa, the ruler of the Jetwa dynasty. They were Rajputs who came from northwestern India, Sindh to Kutch to Saurashtra. Located at the center of Porbandar, it is one exceptional temple, and this is dedicated to this great devotee of Lord Krishna. And this temple is particularly popular with newly married Rajasthani Kshatriya couples. The temple architecture is simple and made up of marble carved pillars and a tall shikhar or tower. And the temple has been recently renovated, maybe about 6-7 years back, and a statue of the Krishna Sudama embrace has been installed by the district administration. So the Krishna Sudama embrace reminded me of the 5 types of devotion that the ancient texts talk about to the Supreme Being. And we have already spoken about Vatsalya Bhava in a previous video, where, in relation of Periyalvar with his, where he feels the maternal love towards the Supreme. And in this case, this is Sakhya Bhava, where the devotee thinks of the Almighty as one's friend. So Sudama epitomized just this bhava when he realized that the Lord could be his most intimate friend. Only a close friend could confidently take a pouch of beaten rice to the king of Dwarka, isn't it? So it was a nice visit to the Sudama temple, but there are other places that you must visit in Porbandar. And very close to the airport is the Sri Hari Mandir, or the Sandipani temple. And perhaps this should be your very first stop in Porbandar if you arrive by air, since it's so close to the airport. Now, architecturally, this temple is marvelous and is the labor of love of the spiritual leader Sri Ramesh Bhai Oza, who is known as Bhai Shri to his followers. Now, the groundbreaking ceremony was done in May 1998, and it took 7 years for it to be completed. All the stone comes from Porbandar itself. The height of the temple is 105 feet with 48 steps leading to the temple, and the temple has 5 shikhars or spires, and the doors and the pillars have exquisite carvings. The main deity enshrined in the Sanctum Sanctorum is Sri Lakshmi Narayana. On either side are the murtis or idols of Sri Janaki Vallabha and Sri Radha Krishna. Housed under the other 2 domes are Lord Shiva or Shankar with his family and Devi Durga. Sri Ganesha and Sri Hanuman are placed at the 2 extreme ends of these deities. No photography is allowed inside the Sanctum Sanctorum, but I can share the pictures of the vast landscape, which has beautiful gardens, shrubs and trees that makes the ambience very beautiful and a very peaceful one. So when we had arrived to this temple in Porbandar, it was the day of Ganesh Chaturthi, and the students of the Sandipani Vidyaniketan, which is located close by, the students had assembled in the hall for a special event. So indeed, the school is named after Lord Krishna and Sudama's revered guru, Sandipani. So if you are in Porbandar, definitely you may be going to Dwarka. So if you're going to Dwarka by road, like we did, en route to Dwarka is the Harsiddhi Mata temple. So this is a temple you could visit, and this is located at the Gandhari village, just 30 kilometers from Porbandar, and it is on top of a hillock which is known as the Koila Dungar. It is believed that the Kula Devi, or family deity of Lord Krishna, is the Harsiddhi Mata, which is located here. So the original temple on top of a hill faced the sea and is believed to have been in existence since Dwapara Yuga, when Krishna himself built the temple. The deity is also known as Harshal Mata. The story goes that when Lord Krishna went to fight Jarasandha, he prayed to goddess Amba for victory. When Jarasandha was defeated, the Yadava clan they were elated and celebrated by calling the goddess as Harshal Mata, or the Mata who gave them happiness. So the temple on Koila Dungar was built by a Jain merchant called Jagdu Seth in the 13th century. It was believed that that if the eyes of the goddess in the original temple fell on any incoming ships, the ships would invariably be wrecked. So Jagdu's ships was also wrecked, but he escaped unharmed. It was then that he decided to fast at Amba's temple to request that she lower her eyes away from the sea. So it is said that Amba appeared in Jagdu's consciousness in the night and demanded that she would only descend if he sacrificed a buffalo on each step. As a Jain, Jagdu was in a dilemma, but agreed to sacrifice the buffaloes. However, he was a little short of the number of buffaloes, so he decided to sacrifice his family and himself just to keep his word. So Goddess Amba was merely testing his resolve, as the story goes, and was hence very pleased with his devotion. The family was brought back to life, so the story goes, also with the blessing that his lineage would go on till the end of time. Now, Jagdu's statue is also placed in the temple on the right hand side of the goddess. Harsiddhi Mata or Harshal Mata is now venerated by the fishermen and the seafaring people of Gujarat. Of course, till now we have spoken about the Krishna route, but definitely before leaving Porbandar, you need to definitely visit Kirti Mandir, because Porbandar in modern India is synonymous as the birthplace of Mahatma Gandhi. And so this Kirti Mandir, which was the house where Gandhiji was born, is now a museum. So the original 3-storied building was purchased by the great-grandfather of Mahatma Ji, Sri Harjivan Rai Das Gandhi, in the 17th century. Of course, the credit of the present structure as a national memorial goes to Nanji Bhai Kalidas Mehta, the philanthropist industrialist, who not only initiated this idea but also funded it by buying the ancestral house, and he built the new complex called Kirti Mandir. So with that, I want to end this video about Porbandar, and let me see when I can make the video about Dwarka next. And with that, I would like to say thank you for giving this channel the support that it's required, and I hope you continue to watch these videos. Namaste and bye-bye.